Welcome to another episode of Popcorn Bucket List. We have survived spooky season, and now we are here to talk November.
We're safe. We made it through.
We did it. Technically, we're filming this like a week before.
Yeah.
So it's very possible Halloween will come around, and it'll take us.
It'll get us.
We might be jinxing ourselves right now.
We might get got.
Yeah.
On Halloween.
Yeah. That's why I'm staying home. I've built a bunker.
Are you going to be handing out candy?
No.
Oh.
That's how they get you. But speaking of a trick or treat, we usually start these shows off with Ryne's challenge. You were telling me beforehand you think this one's going to be pretty challenging, pretty tricky, if you will. So see if you can solve Ryne's trick, and you may get a treat. Ryne, tell them what they win if they get it right.
Right now, we have 2 tickets to the Marshall 6 movie theater. We got those on hand. You got a comment on the YouTube page, and if you're the first one to get the correct answer, then you win. And I'll reach out to you and get you your tickets. All right, so my question today, I got to give a little precursor, because last night I was talking with one of my buddies about films. His name's Brett. We like to do this quite often. And we ask quotes to each other to figure out if we can see which film it was. And he stumped me. He got me. So kudos to you, Brett. You got me. So the quote is, I was 12 years old going on 13. The first time I saw a dead human being. Now we'll give you some clues. It is from the 1980s. One of my favorite films of all time. Absolutely love this film. I was very disappointed I didn't get it right away. It's got some awesome actors in it. Maybe a small group of young men. And my boy Kiefer. If you guys know who Kiefer is, just check it out. See what you can come up with. One of my favorite movies. All right.
So there you go. Yeah, there's the challenge. And what was that? What was that look?
Were you listening the whole time?
Yeah, man, I'm always paying attention.
Really?
Name one time where I wasn't like paying attention.
That's it.
It was your job to squeeze the bank account. I mean, you're done already?
We're back.
My God. See, you can't come up with any, whatever. But you do this every time. I called you on this. You always say it's tricky, and then you give like one clue, which I usually put on the screen, but I'm not going to put all those. And then you like go like, oh yeah, it's super hard. Here's the clue. Here's another clue. Here's another clue. Here's another clue.
Yeah. Ideally, you should pause it and then try and learn it.
Yeah, just skip ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it in there for you. You figure it out.
Stew on it.
Yeah, just think about it for a little bit. With that, let's move on to the preview portion of the show. This is where we talk about all or as many of the movies as we can. I'm starting to think the website I use just only favors Netflix and Amazon.
There's a lot.
Because I know
Netflix
there are
stuff.
movies that come out on Hulu. They just never put them on there. So it's not that we hate Hulu. I just want to point that out there, just in case Hulu wanted to sponsor us. I just want to cover that base right now.
We're open.
Hulu, give us a call if you want. But yeah, because we are going to be talking about a lot of Netflix this month. I'm just forewarning you. But a pretty stacked month, so let's get into it. On November 3rd, right away here, The Harder They Fall. This is a Netflix movie, a Western with an all-star cast. I got to be honest, I saw the remake of The Magnificent Seven. As far as remakes go, it's all right. As far as a movie in general, pretty good, I thought. But I was hoping this would be the start of a resurgence of Westerns in the modern era. Because I would love to see how we do some of these Western movies with the new technology, the new techniques we have. And I'm hoping this will continue that trend, this new resurgence here. I believe it's an original story, from what I could tell. It's a classic Western. You got enemies, you got gangs, you got both sides, you got shootouts in the streets, revenge.
Yep.
All the fun stuff with the Western.
It's gonna be a fun movie to watch.
Indeed.
They do, like, especially with the trailer, there's a scene that they do, like, the time remapping, and it's chaos around, and he just does the cool walkout. Like it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Coming out that Friday is Marvel's Eternals. This is a theaters release. It is the latest chapter in the MCU. I don't really know what else to say about these movies anymore. If you're into the MCU, you're gonna see them. There's nothing I could say. Like, one of the things talking about, like, there have been some early critics releasing and reviewing. Right now, it's considered to be one of the lowest reviewed for critic scores, but still like a 66%. Yeah. None of that matters.
None of that matters. People are going to go see it.
People are still going to see it.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch the Game of Thrones reunion because there's a handful of Game of Thrones characters that are going to be in this, which is going to be awesome. I really want a couple Easter eggs, and I know that's just the fanboy inside of me, but I will be disappointed if they don't have any Game of Thrones Easter eggs in there. Something cool.
Maybe that's why it's the lowest reviewed. Like, all the critics came in like, all right, here's the game, and then there's none. And they were like, dock it down 10%.
If Kit Harington doesn't say, winter is coming. If he doesn't say that one time in the movie.
Looking at the trailer, I don't see that as a possibility. It's like all takes place on a beach.
I know. And if he doesn't say that, I'm going to be mad.
Coming out that same weekend on Apple TV Plus is Finch. This is another Tom Hanks movie. This is set in like a post-apocalyptic world where Tom Hanks has to find a new home for him, his pet dog, and his robot that he built. Not a robot dog. He's got a pet dog and a robot at the same time. Usually movies just pick one or the other.
Yeah.
I almost want to picture, like, in the writer's room, they're like, all right, we got to have the sidekick for the post-apocalyptic guy. All right, do we want to do dog or we want to do robot? And someone was like,
yes.
Yeah. So the producer was like, yes. Let's just do. And the writer was like, okay, both it is.
Both it is. All right, we'll add that character. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Chappie.
The robot
does.
Remind, yeah.
Although Chappie, I really like Chappie.
Yeah.
And the Ant Eatwood or something, the band, the two main characters, the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Good movie. But
sound like you were going somewhere
there.
But
I was going to say Tom Hanks.
Chappie apparently is good. So
take
that as you will.
Yeah, it's good.
Whoop. Yep. Just going to move on.
Yep, to the next one.
Coming out the next week on Wednesday, November 10th, the first theater release is Clifford the Big Red Dog. This is the live-action adaptation of the classic cartoon. I don't know about this trailer, man. There's parts of it that just made me go, he's like playing, there's like, you've seen those people in the park where they've got like the huge bubble around and they like run around and bounce into each other.
Yeah.
Like the dog starts playing fetch and like knocks him over. Like there's one that he hits so hard, I'm like, well, that guy's dead.
He's gone. He throws him up in the air. And
like, I think Clifford accidentally like tries to lick another dog and accidentally swallows it. I'm like, is Clifford going to have a body count in this movie?
See, you didn't watch till the end. It's actually rated R.
Oh, yeah. The red is, he's not red because he wants to. He's covered in blood.
Covered in blood. No, I'm going to have to see if I can find it. But I think I was telling you, I played Clifford when I was a kid. And there's a picture.
Have not told me this.
There's a picture of me in a Clifford suit.
I need
welcoming
this picture.
Like kindergartners to school when I was like a fourth grader or something.
Coming out on that exact same day on Netflix is Passing. This is a very pretty black and white, basically indie movie.
Artsy.
Very artsy. Yeah, that's one of your catchphrases here. Is
artsy.
Yeah, give us one more time.
Artsy.
Give it to me in your most artsy like indie voice. We'll put it in black and white.
Artsy.
There it is.
Artsy.
Yeah.
Artsy.
Yep. Now we're getting to ASMR though.
That's
right. That's
artsy.
Nope. No, we're done. Okay, you're done now. I think we got it. First take was good. First take was good. So yeah, it stars Tessa Thompson. It's a British director whose name I can't remember right now. It's her directorial debut. Just kind of looks like it'll be a good one of those kind of acting pieces. You just kind of go hoping to get some good acting.
I'll watch it. I like Tessa Thompson in she was in Westworld. I like that series. It's good. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. Very interesting concept, especially in today's world. So I'll be interested to kind of see how they play it out and see how it turns out.
Mm-hmm. Coming out the very next day, also coming out from Netflix, is Seven Prisoners. This is a Brazilian drama where an 18-year-old boy starts working at a junkyard to help provide for his family, only to find out it is a front for human trafficking. So yeah,
looks awesome.
Moral dilemma here. On the one hand, obviously the right thing to do would be to turn these people in because they're doing horrible, horrible things. But now he no longer has a job and his family becomes poor and, poverty and all that.
Yep.
So what do you do?
Yep. And he also, I believe, directed City of God.
Yes.
Which is
really good.
Fantastic
Really
film.
good. Really good foreign film.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited to watch this. It looks good. It looks emotional, stressful, anxiety-inducing. Mm-hmm. So I think I can't wait.
Yep. Coming out Friday, November 12th, is Home Sweet Home Alone on Disney+. Just watch the trailer for the first Home Alone. You get the gist.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the exact same thing.
Except he's in London.
He's British.
He's British. You're not breaking into me house.
You sound like you're from London. Yeah, pretty much. That's the only thing they've got going on different here. Is that, the kid's British this time.
Yeah.
So I guess...
Stop stealing my crumpets and tea. Hello.
That's strike one. So yeah, well, I mean, at this point, you don't watch some of the later Home Alone movies for the story. You just want to see how else they beat up a couple of comedic actors.
Yep.
So if that's your thing, if you want to see the kid version of Saw, go for it.
Go
man.
for it.
And no judgment.
Yeah.
Coming out on the exact same weekend on Netflix is Red Notice. You got The Rock. You got Ryan Reynolds. You got Gal Gadot. They're in an action movie. They're like all stealing from each other. They're like all trying to go after this prize. One's a cop. Like two of them are thieves. Like, It's just this weird cat and mouse game. It's almost like those old Spy versus Spy cartoons kind of thing. Like those shorts or those animated shorts or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like
those are great.
But it's like Ryan Reynolds versus Gal Gadot, so it's an infinite time better.
And then just The Rock is just kind of the medium guy.
Yeah.
Like he's the law guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I am the law.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be sweet. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun action movie. Mm-hmm. Ryan Reynolds comedy. It'll just be good.
Yep. Also coming out is on Amazon Prime, Mayor Pete. This is a documentary about Mayor Pete Buttigieg. It will kind of talk about his family, but also like his experiences through the 2020 election, because if you remember, he was one of the many runners who were threw their hat in the ring of the 2020 election. So I'm kind of interested to see some of what maybe he'll like talk about as far as like what was going on behind the curtain or maybe something like that.
Because I didn't know a whole lot about Pete Buttigieg.
He was kind of one of those candidates where it's like he wasn't impressive enough for us to really notice him, but he wasn't controversial enough for us to notice him either.
Yep.
He was just that nice middle ground almost.
Yeah, and I learned a couple of things about him just watching the trailer, so I'll watch it. I think it'll be interesting. But yeah.
But coming out the next weekend, starting off with a bang, Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is coming out Friday, November 19th. This is a theaters release. Yeah, this one's starring Paul Rudd. I think that alone makes it worth watching. He's a nice guy. He's a funny guy. Pretty good actor. I'm curious to see what he does with some ghosts.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because isn't one of the kids from Stranger Things?
Yep.
In it, so like it'll be fun. Like I said, like is Paul Rudd actually a Ghostbuster, or is he like a dad of the Ghostbusters?
No, he's just a teacher at the school.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like a lot. Like he grew up like
Peter Venkman. He knew Peter Venkman.
No, let me finish.
Okay,
that's strike two.
No.
In case maybe I'll cut this, maybe I won't. But in case I don't, I'm going to add the explanation now. I have added a stipulation to Ryan here. If he does 3 strikes, I mute his mic and I give him like a 5-minute timeout. So he's on strike 2 right now.
Yep.
Just
so I
you
got to
know.
watch my P's and Q's.
Yeah, now you're in hot water, bud. I don't even remember what I was talking about anymore. Let's just move on to the next movie. Go see Ghostbusters Afterlife if you like the Ghostbusters. Yeah. I think the first one's one of the best comedies of all time. So.
Yep.
Coming out that same weekend, King Richard. This is a theater's release. Tells the story of young Venus and Serena Williams, tennis megastars. I mean, they've accomplished just about anything. But it also kind of tells the story of their father, Richard, played by Will Smith. This is kind of every few years we get Will Smith really swinging for the Oscar. This is that movie.
Yep. And I'm curious, is it going to be more about them playing tennis, the two girls, or is it going to be more around Will Smith's character? And
I think that is going to determine how good the movie is at the end of the day. Because depending on what the story is, do we want to know more about the dad, or do we want to see more of their rise? Because this shows them pretty young; they're like kids at this point. So it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm fine watching either one, but it's just kind of like, oh, this is the twin or the girls' tennis movie, but it's called King Richard. Yeah. So, like, it's just, I don't know. We'll see.
But on the flip side, if it does focus on Richard, but then we find out, no, like, none of this actually happened, they just did it for dramatic effect, then that's a whole other issue, in my opinion, usually. Yeah. So. And then finally, that same weekend, we've got Tick, Tick, Boom. This is a Netflix movie. It is Lin-Manuel Miranda's directorial debut. He's written a lot of music. He's written a lot of musicals for stage and everything. He's never directed. So this is new territory for him, but it deals with a subject that he's very versed in, musical theater. Andrew Garfield is the main star in this, who plays Jonathan Larson, who revolutionized the musical theater world. Gotta say, really good to see that Andrew Garfield was able to work this into a schedule while he's filming Spider-Man movies. And that joke may or may not age well when December comes around. For those of you who know, you know. But, Andrew Garfield's usually good.
I think it looks good. It'll be interesting. To me, it reminded me of Whiplash without the anger and the yelling and the
so not Whiplash, because that's like 90% of what Whiplash is.
But I got those Whiplash vibes.
That's like saying it reminds me of Cake, except for the eggs, milk, batter, flour.
Yes. Like if instead of throwing chairs at Miles Teller, Simmons just said, "Go to your room and just write about it." Like that's the difference.
Safe space and journal for a second.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be great, but it just I got those vibes. I was like, he didn't get a chair thrown at him.
Is that even allowed?
Yeah. Wow.
And then Wednesday, November 24th, this is kind of that big Thanksgiving weekend, sort of like starts early. They try to get some movies out before Thanksgiving. People are traveling, visiting families and all that. The big movie coming out that weekend is Encanto. This is a Pixar movie whose music was also written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who we previously mentioned. Busy guy here in these last few months. This movie is about a girl whose family has magical powers. However, hers are not showing up. So there's going to be some inspiring music. There's going to be some I got to figure out who I am music. I'm just predicting all these. And to be honest, I didn't even see the trailer. I'm just assuming
trailers
shows up.
Trailer's pretty good.
Yep.
Very tight-knit family.
Yep. Also coming out that same day is House of Gucci. This is a theaters movie, a Ridley Scott movie at that goes over some of the events surrounding the murder of Gucci Versailles. Starring Lady Gaga and Adam Driver. Those are just two of the main people.
Yeah, the list goes on and on. And it looks awesome.
This one has a lot of buzz, especially the Lady Gaga fans out there.
Yeah. I watched the trailer, and about halfway through, I was like, okay. About 15 seconds in, I was like, that's Lady Gaga. She looks awesome. And her accent, her voice, Adam Driver, killing it. All look great.
This obviously isn't Lady Gaga's first foray into acting. She was in A Star is Born, but one of the jokes around that is she didn't have to really dive too deep into that character. It was she's a singer, upcoming singer. Like she's experienced that in real life. Yeah. This, I think, will be one of her first big challenges, and I think she's gonna. I think just looking at it, looks pretty good. Like she's gonna nail it.
Yeah. Well, and the best part is like Lady Gaga originally wanted to be an actor. She wasn't a singer, but she got famous singing, and now she's using that to transform her journey into film. You know, and that's cool. You know, she did something to get where she's at right now.
Coming out that same day is Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. This is a theater's release. I don't know much about the Resident Evil franchise, but apparently this is a reboot. So I'm not really sure what you really need to know. If they're kind of starting over, they're kind of starting at the beginning with whole new characters and everything. So this kind of could be a fresh start, bringing some new people to the franchise.
Yeah. All you really need to know is Umbrella Corporation is still there, and they're causing havoc in the town.
They don't just make umbrellas?
No. They do a lot.
Why would you name your company Umbrella Corporation if you don't just make umbrellas?
Because you put your hands and you cover. You are doing a lot of things.
But that's not what umbrellas do. Umbrellas have one purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
two purposes.
Yeah,
to cover
there's a
you
lot
from
of
rain
things,
and pretend to be swords.
Yep. There's a lot of things under the Umbrella Corporation, such as biomedical research and all kinds of like healthy stuff and making zombies, and
that doesn't sound healthy.
It's gonna be sweet. If you like Resident Evil movies, you're gonna like it.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
All right.
And then also coming out that same day, like I said, that's a big, big day, is a Netflix movie called Bruised, starring Halle Berry and directed by her. We got a lot of directorial debuts this month.
Yeah.
A lot. I count like 3 at least here. But basically she plays an MMA fighter who's got some demons and a troubled past, and she's getting her second chance in the ring here, or in the octagon as it's more often called here. In this case, I don't want the boxing and MMA fans to come after me on that one. I want to make sure my terms are correct here. And all of a sudden some of these past troubles are coming to haunt her in the midst of her comeback. So how does one fight with everything outside of the ring, but also physically fights inside the ring?
Yep.
You seem enthralled on that one. Is there?
I was just thinking, how old is Halle Berry?
She is 55 years old.
She can still win.
Yeah. Well, she could probably beat me in a fight.
She could beat me in a fight.
No question.
JK.
You think you could take on Halle Berry? She's got that Catwoman flexibility. Like, she could roundhouse kick you to the back of the head while standing in front of you, probably.
Legal advice from my lawyer says I should not answer that question.
Okay. That basically just means he knows he'll lose to her.
Yeah, I would lose.
Yep. And then finally, coming out Thursday, November 25th, the day of Thanksgiving, what better way to chow down on some turkey than watching a documentary about the Beatles on Disney+.
Yeah, yep. That's
Why
did
huge. They choose this day, though?
Don't know. I think they figured everybody's going to be home for that weekend. Everybody loves the Beatles. So they're going to sit at home and watch it together with their big families.
I don't know if I've ever sat down at Thanksgiving and been like, hey, y'all, let's watch a documentary. I don't know. I don't think this is very good timing on their part. Even if it's the Beatles, even if it's the most popular band ever.
I agree. They should have waited.
You don't wait a week.
They should have waited till Christmas. I think Christmas would have been better.
Christmas would have been better.
And also, it's streaming on Disney Plus. It ain't even going to theaters.
Yeah, what better way to talk about a British band than on the holiday where we escaped Britain and came to America?
Yeah.
Whew, that was a lot. A lot of movies coming out this month. This is a big one. That is all coming out here in November. Once again, we'd like to remind everyone that a lot of these movies we preview here on the show, we go check out at Marshall 6 Theater here in Marshall, Minnesota. Isaac and his team, they run a great facility there. So a conversation I had with some people a while ago was like, where is your Cheers You know, like if you watch the show Cheers, there's like a theme song where, you know, place you want to go hang out and everything. I'm not joking. This is my Cheers.
Yep, mine too.
I go in there and I like order the same thing. They know it basically at this point. And I've always joked it's just my place of happiness. It's just where I return to Zen sometimes. I could jump out of an airplane, skydive, parachute into the parking lot. And if you took my blood pressure 15 minutes after sitting down watching a movie, it'd probably be back at resting.
Back to zero. Oh, not zero.
Not zero.
Whatever.
Oh, my God. No, not zero. They don't kill me there.
What kind of theater you run over there?
It's like Flatliners. They kill you and then they revive you at the very end or something. With that, let's do some quick recommends. These are movies we have seen at the Marshall 6 Theater. I believe they're still in there at the time of this recording. And I think it's safe to say we both recommend seeing these in theaters. So, Ryan, why don't you take us away? What is your number one recommend of this month?
My number one recommend this month is going to be Dune. Absolutely loved it. Phenomenal. You know, they actually have just a great cast list up and down, beautifully shot, and it's a movie you need to watch in the movie theaters. You can watch it at home. I think it is available on HBO. You can watch it at home, but if you get the chance, go check it out in the theater in a big screen with good sound. Really loved it. It's just a sci-fi epic adventure. They did play the Blue Danube, I believe it's called. Very wonderful space opera music, and if you get that reference, you get that reference. Dune's my movie. Check it out wherever you can.
I am going to be recommending a movie that actually has the same composer as your movie does as well.
No.
What? What did you say?
I said no.
Yeah, I have the power. I'm recommending No Time to Die. This is the final James Bond movie in the Daniel Craig era of James Bond movies. I think some of the action scenes are pretty good in here. This is probably the most gadgety James Bond movie out of this Daniel Craig one, which I think is kind of a little bit of a departure, but I think they do it pretty well. I think this is one of the best performances of Daniel Craig as Bond. I think this has a really, really good ending for this era of Bond. I remember when Spectre was done, they kind of were implying, oh, this might be the end. And I was like, okay, it's not the most epic thing, but if that's the end, that's the end. I can live with it. I'm glad they did this one more time just so we can get this ending. It's got all the hallmarks of a great James Bond movie. I highly recommend this one as well. And that is going to do it for us here on Popcorn Bucket List. If you are in the Marshall area, be sure to check out the Marshall 6 Theater. And as always, if you have an answer to Ryan's challenge, be sure to put it in the comment section of the YouTube video for a chance to win his prize. Nice miming, by the way, as his mic is still muted. Yeah, he can't talk. Yeah. And while you're down there, feel free to tell us what you've been watching and recommend some movies to us as well. For myself, a muted Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the movies.